So Charlie Kirk strongly believed in observing the Sabbath to refocus on what truly matters.
It says very clearly in the scriptures, for 6 days you shall work, and the seventh day you shall rest. If you are feeling overrun by society, you might be feeling depressed or anxious, here's just one way that you might be able to improve. Turn your phone off for 1 day. No contact, no social media, no work. Your mental health will improve dramatically. You can hang out with friends, you can go for a walk, but don't work for 1 day. That is a day for worship. That is a day for the Lord. That is a day to go be with God. That is a day to read your Bible and be out of the busyness and the hurriedness and just the anger and the noise of this world.
Wow. So weeks before Charlie's assassination, he finished what would become his final book, Stop in the Name of God, why honoring the Sabbath will transform your life.
And Charlie's precious widow and a friend of ours and CEO of Turning Point USA, Erika Kirk, wrote the foreword, and she joins us now. Erika, I heard last night on Sean's show you said you haven't been able to read the end of the book yet. You're not there yet.
I'm not, because there's so many, you only get so many firsts and lasts in your life. Yeah. And so for me, this is one all tied together. It's the first that I'm reading, my husband's last and final book that he wrote. And when you finish that, that's the last time you read it.
Yeah, well, he wrote...
I mean, you read it again, but it's the last first.
Yeah, I loved this that he said. The Sabbath is God's answer to a culture spinning out of control. It is his ancient rhythm of sanity, planted like an anchor in a world swept away by currents of chaos. 6 days we work, build, create, engage. On the seventh day we stop, but not because we're weak. We stop because we're human. We don't rest because we're lazy. We rest because we're obedient. How did y'all do this? Because we were talking, I'd love to do this.
No, so again, Charlie, he took his time going into this, but he didn't write this because he needed to figure it out. He wrote this because it was already figured out, and he saw, wow, this changed and impacted my life. But I have to tell you something. I've really been praying about this because I feel as if Charlie wrote this book for me. These are his last words written that were on his heart. He finished this in July when we were together as a family. And I can't help but think, when you read this book, he's basically saying, like, I am getting so much noise from everyone. And you guys get this too.
I know
you get the echo chamber. You get people analyzing everything about you. They think they know everything about you. They know nothing about you. They see you on TV, they think, oh, she's this, she's that. He said this, he said that. And honestly, it's Charlie saying, baby E, just stop. Stop. You don't have to answer to every single person that's accusing you of things or saying that you're doing this or grieving a certain way. Baby, just stop. You know who you are and whose you are, and I'm here, I see you. And if Charlie, and I'm taking a page out of his book, if he answered to every single critic and didn't stop and put his phone down and breathe and rest with the Lord, he'd get nothing done. He would not have built Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action.
And I read in your book that in Charlie's book, when he said, at first, when Dennis Prager, I guess, played a big role in that.
He did. Dennis did.
What an unbelievably bright individual, great guy.
Dennis is precious.
And he said, you got to do this. And he thought, how could I do this with the president calls? He's running Turning Point Action, Turning Point. I got to set up this college tour. If I shut off my phone, how many things wouldn't get done? And then when he shut it down and then put it on, there was only 2 messages.
But if you think about it, people,
and it's true, though.
You're almost like training the people around you to say, hey, this is how life used to be. You left the office at 5. No one could reach you. And then you had a beeper, but like no one could reach you until the next morning. But it's retraining the world. You used to have blue laws. Like, it's retraining the world to say, okay, at 5 o'clock, unless it's an emergency, give me a phone call. I'm not going to respond to your text message. I'm with my babies. I'm putting the kids to bed. I'm spending time with my husband. I'm fixing the generational gap because I want to be able to show them rest and importance. You're a priority, not my office.
Erika, Charlie and I, we're from the same generation of young conservative, you as well. And there's a list of people that are there in the movement waiting for who's going to be the next leader of the movement, who's going to get these young... Do you feel like these were the words that were almost prophetic in the sense of 100%. He left these as like a guide for the movement?
100%. Lawrence, you're absolutely right. And you know it too. you can have all the political stances that you want. You can be able to make all the different strategy and political moves that you want. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we're human.
Right.
We are so fragile and we are human. We are not machines. So if you think that you're going to just be so productive and so busy because you're getting your to-do list done, what are you actually doing? No, you're just one of 1,000 in a million. If you really want to be used in a way that is so profound to change this world, you have to press pause and you have to be able to listen to the Lord, listen from the Lord, be able to have people around you that will pour into you, that will mentor you, that will love on you, and say, you know what? This world that's so noisy right now, go ahead and keep talking. I'm taking a pause because I need to know who I need to be as a leader in order to lead. I can't just keep following down this path and expect to be able to make a difference with the youth.
Yeah, Erika, I cannot imagine what you're going through. You found the love of your life, and that's the goal for all of us, right?
I know.
You did, and he was taken so early. What do you miss most? How are his parents doing? Because his parents are private. We saw them for the first time at the funeral.
Yes.
You did such a beautiful job there. How are all of y'all doing? You talk a little bit about the kids, but how's your mom doing? I mean, I know she's devastated for you.
My mom is Charlie and my mom. Well, Charlie's family's there. Everyone's hanging in there. We're doing the best to be expected. My mom and Charlie, they were best friends. I would always say that Charlie was her favorite child. But the thing that was so special about our Sabbath dinners was that it wasn't about religious protocol. Right. It was literally going to my mom's house. My mom's battling a very rare illness. It was literally going to my mom's house for dinner with my mom. It was, again, bridging that generational gap where my kids don't have phones, they're not looking at iPads, they're not looking at screens. We're sitting together and we're talking and we're loving on each other. How was your week? What were your wins? What are you grateful for? We went around the table and talked about that. And that was what was so special about our Friday nights. And Charlie was like, we have our Friday nights. But it's interesting, what I miss the most, what really just hits me hard is when I'm in the grocery store and I see his hot sauce. I want to buy it. Or it's the little things, his clothes everywhere. Excuse me, but it's the little things. And I know that people who have experienced loss totally understand what I'm saying. It's the small things that just get you. It's the visual of, Daddy coming home, and to the world he was Charlie Kirk, but to us he was my love of my life and my children's dad. I'm so sorry.
Understandable.
Excuse me, but it's those little things where, again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and it was just all us. And that's what I always wanted to make so special for him, was coming home. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home. Home is here for you. Your food will never be cold. It might sit out for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine. And I just want to encourage spouses, don't get mad. It's so easy. Don't do it.
Here's an excerpt from the forward in your book. You write this: I knew Charlie so deeply in a way no one could. That is why I can say with certainty these pages are not theory for him. They are testimony. The words you hold in your hands were the convictions he lived by that were written on his heart. Looking back now, I see the book as one of Charlie's most enduring gifts to the world. He did not know how brief his time on earth would be. None of us did. But the truths written in this book are not bound by time. They will outlive us all, as will the legacy of his faith. And in the book, he goes into details about the Bible.
Yes, he does. He does. It's really powerful. He became a subject matter expert, if you will. We have 50-plus books on our bookshelf about the Sabbath, and he spent a lot of time talking to Dennis Prager about this. He learned as much as he could, and again, he implemented it in his life because he knew that it was something that would, communication is everything. And so when he was on campus, he knew talking to people was very important, especially the youth. We don't communicate with each other anymore. So something as simple as talking goes viral because no one talks. The miscommunication is out of control. And so he was so good at communicating and understanding and bridging that gap. And for him, this book was one of those moments where, okay, if you have communication mixed in with people turning off the noise and the chatter and actually resetting and rehumanizing, putting those together is a beautiful symphony of how this country can heal. And he knew that, and that's why he wanted to share it with everybody.
Erika, I want to show you a moment because you were just talking about your kids.
Yes.
And the last Kirk to sit there was actually Charlie Kirk when he came to fill in. Here's this beautiful moment of your daughter running in to see her father.
Oh,
Let's play
after
it.
the show, right?
That is the best.
It's so sweet.
What do you make of that?
I'm just glad that I know she's young, but she's so smart. And I'm so glad that she had that moment. She would always listen to his speeches. I always had his show playing. I laugh when people are like, do your kids watch TV? I was like, well, yeah, they watch either Daddy's show or they're watching Bob Ross because he has a very nap-inducing voice.
Yeah.
But it was special. It was so special.
I mean, he hosted 8 hours that weekend, so it's a 4-hour show.
I love that video of her.
I know.
Her little pigtails.
I know. It's so
And that
sweet.
story, that's where y'all met, Erika. Did you
loved
know
our
you were going to
baby
marry
so
him in that moment? Because he said, I don't want you to work for me.
No,
I want to date
I want to
you.
date you. No, I fell in love with him so quickly because he was so direct. The Lord knew I needed a man that was not going to mess around, that was not going to say, let's see where it goes. Let's go get coffee. Let's go get drinks. We never drank. It was like one of those things where it was like, no, I want to date you. I want to marry you. I'm pursuing you intentionally. And that's what's so important for a lot of young people today that are looking for their spouses. Don't waste your time. The right person will literally say, I know that this is something special. Let's honor the Lord. Let's do this right. I'm not going to treat my boyfriend like my fiance and my fiance like my husband.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this the right way. And that's what we did. And we just wanted our relationship to always honor and glorify the Lord.
You know, Erika, can you walk us through? It's something that Ainsley, Brian have talked about, forgiveness, right?
Yes.
And it's for us on a
that
personal
moment at the
level.
funeral.
We can't forgive people for less, but you had so much. How did you get to that point where you could forgive on a national stage?
Like I told Andrew, that was something that was a game time decision. I'm not going to just say, words are so powerful. I mean, God created the world with words. Words are very, very powerful. And to me, I'm never going to say something I don't mean. Charlie was the same exact way. He would tell you just how it is. And it's, again, faith is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And I am not going to let the enemy have a foothold in my life. How am I supposed to be the mother I need to be? How am I supposed to be the leader of Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, the youth, when I myself have a deep, unrooted, horrible, nasty hate in my heart? I cannot operate with hate in my heart. No one can. No one can be fruitful with hate in your heart. And that does not mean we're weak.
Right.
That does not mean we're weak. That does not mean we forgive. I will never forgive that. I will never forget that. Sorry. I will never forget that. I will forgive it, but that's because I know that the Lord is just and sovereign. But it's one of those things where people need to understand that hate is very powerful, but love is more powerful.
So how interested are you in what went off in this guy, the suspect, that allowed him to do such a heinous act? Like, that's what I ask myself almost every day. What prompted that individual to get on that roof and end your husband's life? Do you have questions about that, or have you just socked that away and leave it to the lawyers?
No, if you think about it, everything starts small, okay? So when you start believing in something or diving into something, it starts with a small little seed. So is that seed going to be something that was planted and go towards the light and go towards the Lord? Or is that seed that's planted that's going to go towards evil and darkness? And it starts with one little inch that just keeps growing and growing and growing. And you have a choice in life. And again, Charlie was trying to save the exact man that murdered him by trying to reach that generation and say, there is a different way to live. There is a way better and healthier and pure and beautiful truthful way to live, why are you wasting your time with brain rot? Why are you wasting your time with things you know are so unhealthy, so unproductive, so divisive, so evil, when there's so many other things you can be focusing on that you can build and that you can harness for good? Why are you wasting your short time? My husband lived for 31 years. That's it. We don't have a lot of time here at all. But if you spend that time on things that are beautiful and true and good, that is how our country can heal and start going forward in a way, in a direction that we never thought could be possible, because the Lord can use that. If you just let that little seed in your life go towards hate and evil, we're on a totally different path.
Yeah. You know, we're watching you go through all of this, and I want you to know there are always going to be the naysayers. They're going to be the people that might question this or that about that day. And we know some of those headlines. But it's always bigger in your head. Someone told me that when I got into this business. It's always bigger in your head than it is to the rest, because most of the people aren't following the headlines or like you are or like we are. And when I got in the business, people would write, not to make it about me, I'm just trying to say this to help you. They would write the most negative things, and I would just be so upset about it.
It's hurtful.
Because I'm like, this trying to be this good Christian girl, trying. I make mistakes every day. I sin.
We all do.
But I'm reading these negative things, and it really, really bothered me, especially the personal ones when I'm going through the deepest things. But then I realized they don't know me. Even the ones who love us, bless their hearts, they don't really know us either. So the people who really matter are our God, our family, the people who do know us. And that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
So all the negative press, I think Charlie's right. I think Charlie's teaching you this week.
I know. Just saying stop. You don't have to respond to every single thing.
Yes.
I mean, it is nasty out there.
Because they're 5% of the people that might not like Charlie's message. The rest of the country, they might not always agree, but they're proud of him for standing up. They're heartbroken for you and your family. That's normal. That's what a human being does.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Erika, can you talk about the next phase of Turning Point? Because Charlie focuses on young men. There's a crisis going on in the country when it comes to young men. Abandonment, weren't taking their places in the household. And now you're focused on young women.
Correct.
How's that task been? You've always been a writer. You've always had things to say, but you kind of focused on the family for a long time. People that knew you, we knew that you had all these thoughts. But how has the leadership role been for you now?
It's powerful because there was no daylight between Charlie and I, so I witnessed everything firsthand, front row seat. Charlie did have a phenomenal way of communicating with the young men of Gen Z and millennials, actually, honestly, every generation, to be quite frank. I have noticed that there's been an uptick in the women's interest in Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, to be expected. But, again, I view it as a holistic thing. You can't just focus on the female, and you can't just focus on the male. There is a beautiful balance of having the two turn into one of, you're an American. You're an American.
That's right.
And so for me, something so important that we are going to continue to do is civil discourse, debate, dialogue. So important. If you cancel people and you say, you can't say that, why can't I say that? Tell me more. You have to counter bad ideas with good ideas. You have to have that debate and dialogue. And I can't have, what I do not want to have happen is someone say, well, I'm afraid to talk to that person because X, Y, Z, and I don't want them to be platformed. It has nothing. If we don't communicate and combat each other in a very civil discourse way of discourse, dialogue, that is where we get in trouble, and that's where this whole side, you have to continue that. So that is very important to me. From the female standpoint, it's being able to show them that being a mother is not a weakness. That is a superpower, if anything. When you are a mother, something ignites within you that transforms and transcends you and beyond. That is so important to me. And I have to be honest, being a mother myself, we just came back from our gala this weekend. We had 2 students on stage, precious students. The mother bear inside of me is like, if you want to go after these kids, if you want to go after the youth, you have to go through me. I'm not going to let you touch these kids. On college campus, we just had Governor Abbott in Texas We have other governors throughout the country that are saying Club America will be on our high school campuses. That is unbelievable.
Right.
Because that means that these kids, male, female, have the opportunity to be exposed to the truth, learn how to debate, learn how to stand for their convictions and what's on their heart, and they're not afraid. And that's what I need, is for these young kids to not be afraid.
And also to buy this book. It's called Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life, at 45books.com. Certain to be a bestseller. Thanks so much, Erika, for coming down.
God bless you. Thank you,
Erika,
guys.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you
guys
for
are great.
being
I'll talk
such
to you
a
on
good
radio
witness.
in about 20 minutes, too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. More Fox and Friends in just a moment.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.